As we releasing more documents to text messages.
Baldoni is going on the offensive. He just launched a website containing 168 pages of documents and texts.
We're going to move as quickly as we possibly can and prove our innocence, where sometimes people judge you before they give you a chance.
I have not seen a case so open and shut in my life, and the more that I read and the more details that I get into, I'm just shocked at how many lies were told, okay?
Players in one of the ugliest Hollywood disputes in recent memory faced off in a New York City courtroom today.
I believe that they are going to be able to prove in court that this was personal. Ryan Reynolds versus Justin Baldoni, all of the evidence points to that.
Hollywood thrives on drama, both on screen and off. But no one expected the latest blockbuster scandal to unfold in an actual courtroom. At the center of it all, Blake Lively, an actress known for her poised public image, and Justin Baldoni, her former co-star turned legal adversary. The two had once worked together in what should have been a simple creative collaboration. Instead, that partnership spiraled into a heated courtroom battle, complete with allegations, leaked messages, and explosive accusations that no one saw coming. And just when things seemed like they couldn't get more chaotic, a shocking twist emerged. Candace Owens' name surfaced in the legal documents. What was a conservative political commentator doing in the middle of a Hollywood lawsuit? Speculation ran wild. Did Owens provide key evidence that turned the tide of the case? Was this an attempt to expose the industry's hidden truths, or something more calculated? One thing was certain. This wasn't just another Hollywood feud. It was a war, and everyone, from Ryan Reynolds to Taylor Swift, was about to get dragged in. But this was just the beginning, because what came next sent shockwaves through the entire industry.
Asking for my address or my phone number or my location share.
The question that's always asked is, why did she stay?
It all started with what should have been a routine pre-trial hearing. Blake Lively's legal team walked into the courtroom, fully expecting the judge to grant a gag order, limiting public discussion of the case. But the judge didn't just reject the gag order, he struck it down without hesitation. Instantly, the courtroom filled with whispers. The decision meant one thing: everything was fair game for public scrutiny. The media could report on the case. Evidence could be discussed in the open. And every move Blake and Justin's legal teams made would now be analyzed under the unforgiving lens of Hollywood's gossip machine.
Hope. And that everybody has the ability to end a cycle that they didn't ask for.
Justin Baldoni's team immediately seized the moment. Within hours, reports surfaced that Baldoni's lawyers were preparing a massive document dump, hundreds of pages of legal filings, internal emails, and even personal text messages. Some insiders whispered that Baldoni was playing offense, not defense. Instead of waiting for Blake's team to build a case against him, he was getting ahead of the narrative. He wasn't just fighting to clear his name, he was making sure the world saw his side of the story first. As cameras flashed outside the courthouse and news networks scrambled to cover the case, one question dominated the headlines. What was in those documents? And why was Justin so eager to get them out in the open? But no one was prepared for the bombshell hidden in those documents.
It's so difficult being a director in some instances because, so often the vision of the film is just in my head, and it's my job to try to figure out how to get everybody on board to have the shared vision of what we're going to make.
When journalists finally got their hands on the legal documents, one name stood out immediately: Candace Owens. The conservative commentator was known for her outspoken takes on politics and pop culture, but no one expected her to have a role in a Hollywood lawsuit. According to court filings, Owens had allegedly provided key evidence that played a significant role in shaping the judge's decision. But how? Theories started flying. Had she uncovered something about Justin Baldoni that others had missed? Was this an attempt to expose Hollywood's inner workings? Or was this just another strategic play in an increasingly messy legal battle?
There's the little boy in me who, I don't know if I ever dared to dream that this could happen. So I'm kind of trying to catch up with the reality of it. And I'm honored, and I'm also more honored that because, what we're talking about is so important and so meaningful.
Owens herself wasted no time addressing the speculation. Just hours after the documents were leaked, she took to social media, posting a cryptic tweet. The truth always comes out. Hollywood isn't ready for what's next. That one tweet was enough to send fans and critics into a frenzy. Some believed she had hard evidence proving that Blake Lively or Justin Baldoni had engaged in wrongdoing. Others saw this as an attempt to insert herself into a high-profile Hollywood scandal for publicity. Either way, Candace Owens had officially become part of the story. But while the focus was on Owens, something even more shocking was brewing behind the scenes.
But this movie, it still makes me cry. Yeah, there are still moments but I love these characters so deeply, and I'm so proud of the work that we all did in this movie. And that's, you know, every single member on screen, all the people off screen. It was such a collective effort to get what you see on screen.
If there was one Hollywood star who seemed untouchable, it was Ryan Reynolds. The A-list actor had built a reputation as one of the most beloved celebrities in the industry, charming, witty, and rarely caught up in controversy. But when the legal documents leaked, his name appeared in private text messages, and what they revealed shocked everyone. For years, Reynolds and Baldoni had maintained a friendly public relationship. The two had worked on projects together, attended charity events, and even spoken highly of each other in interviews.
And they always say two things can be true. And I think that that's beautiful in life. Like, two things can be true here. Yeah. So to remember that you may have two opposing things. Like in, you know, Lily's case, I may be very hurt by this person, but I may love them with all my heart and soul. Yeah. Two things can be true here. You know, you don't have to feel like the human heart can hold one thing at a time. And to know that we can live in the complexities and the messiness, it helps us support each other through it versus going, make this decision or that decision. It's empathy.
But in one leaked text message, Reynolds allegedly referred to Justin Baldoni as a deranged predator. The message stunned fans. What could have possibly happened between them? Immediately, speculation exploded online. Had Ryan been hiding concerns about Baldoni all along? Was this a recent revelation, or was he distancing himself to protect his own reputation? Or had he been pressured by Blake's team to pick a side? Ryan remained silent, refusing to comment. But his abrupt shift in tone raised serious questions. And while Reynolds tried to keep his distance from the controversy, another A-lister was about to be dragged in Taylor Swift. And just when it seemed like the battle lines were drawn, another A-lister's name entered the fray.
What is a typical abuser or a typical victim? I think that there is no typical anything.
My wife and children will divorce me, and
the kids will divorce you?
I have no prenup with any of them.
For years, Blake Lively and Taylor Swift have been inseparable. The two have shared vacations, birthday parties, and even family gatherings. So when reports surfaced that Blake was fighting to keep Taylor Swift out of the lawsuit, fans were shocked. Court documents revealed that Blake's legal team had filed a motion requesting a protective order for certain third-party communications. Translation? They wanted to make sure Taylor's private messages, emails, or personal exchanges wouldn't be dragged into the case. But why? Did Taylor unknowingly send messages that could be used in court? Was she simply a bystander in a legal fight that had nothing to do with her? Swifties immediately rallied in her defense, arguing that she had nothing to do with the case. But some skeptics wondered, did Blake's request confirm that Taylor's messages contained sensitive information? Could this case expose Hollywood's hidden alliances? Was there something bigger at play, something the public wasn't supposed to see? With Ryan Reynolds distancing himself from Justin and Taylor Swift's name now caught in the crossfire, this was no longer just a legal battle. It was a war. But just when things couldn't get more intense, shocking details from the set surfaced. For many, an intimacy coordinator is just another behind-the-scenes figure, a professional ensuring that actors feel safe during sensitive scenes. But in Hollywood, the presence of an intimacy coordinator can signal something deeper, heightened tension, boundary issues, or even disputes over what actually happened on set. And in this case, that's exactly what happened. As journalists sifted through the leaked legal filings, one particular revelation stood out, a behind-the-scenes dispute involving an intimacy coordinator who allegedly raised concerns long before the legal battle began. At first, it seemed like just another procedural issue. But as more details emerged, it became clear. This wasn't about simple on-set logistics. It was about power, control, and who really called the shots behind the camera. According to insiders, the coordinator had organized a crucial meeting to ensure that all actors felt safe and comfortable with certain scenes. The meeting was well attended, with cast members voicing their thoughts about professional boundaries. But Blake Lively? She was noticeably absent. Some shrugged off her absence, claiming it was due to scheduling conflicts. Others weren't so sure. Could this missing piece of the puzzle be connected to the legal war now unfolding? Behind the scenes, murmurs suggested that Blake's absence may not have been coincidental. Some insiders whispered that she had actively avoided the discussion, possibly to sidestep uncomfortable conversations. Others theorized that tensions between certain cast members had been simmering long before legal documents were ever filed. But as the speculation intensified, one thing became clear: there were layers to this story that hadn't yet been exposed. And that was only one piece of the puzzle, because what came next shattered the industry's illusion of unity. Hollywood thrives on perfectly curated images, co-stars who are best friends, film sets that are like family, and directors who are visionaries. But behind the red carpet smiles, it's a different story. As more leaked documents surfaced, fans were forced to confront a brutal truth. The same actors who publicly praised each other were often engaged in private battles behind the scenes. Some cast members had publicly described Justin Baldoni as a warm, collaborative leader. One co-star, in an interview last year, had even called him the most inspiring person on set. But then, private text messages leaked, and they told a completely different story. In these messages, the same actors who had praised Justin in interviews were expressing deep concerns behind closed doors. Some of the texts included, "Honestly, I felt like I couldn't say anything at the time, but looking back, something wasn't right. We were told to keep things positive for PR, but I don't know if I can anymore. I really hope none of this ever gets out, but if it does, I need to be ready." The contrast was staggering. Had these actors been pressured to put on a happy face for the cameras? Were they afraid to speak out, fearing industry backlash? Or had they genuinely felt comfortable at the time, only for new revelations to change their perspective? Meanwhile, Blake Lively was also caught in the same cycle of public praise versus private tension. Crew members shared stories of how she boosted morale, bringing in small gifts and hosting casual gatherings on set. On the surface, she seemed beloved. Yet at the same time, she was spearheading one of the most aggressive legal battles in recent Hollywood history, one that could expose people she once called friends. So, what was real? And what was just another carefully crafted Hollywood illusion? And the more people dug into the case, the clearer it became that Blake wasn't backing down, because a major counterattack was coming. For weeks, the media had focused on Justin Baldoni's aggressive legal strategy, his website full of documents, his team's insistence that they were fighting for the truth. But while all eyes were on Justin, Blake Lively's team was preparing a bombshell of their own. A deadline was set. By Valentine's Day, Blake's lawyers planned to file a major counterattack. Nobody knew exactly what this counterattack would include, but Hollywood insiders had theories. Would it involve never-before-seen emails and texts, revealing conversations that completely changed the narrative? Was there video footage that had been quietly buried, only to now resurface in court? Could this lawsuit uncover industry secrets far beyond Blake and Justin's personal dispute? Whatever was coming, it was clear that Blake wasn't just defending herself anymore. She was going on the offensive. One anonymous source even hinted that the counterattack could be career-ending, not just for Justin, but for others caught in the legal crossfire. Would this be the moment that ended careers? Or would it expose the industry's darkest secrets? For years, Hollywood has functioned like an exclusive club, protecting its biggest stars, controlling narratives, and ensuring that what happens behind the scenes stays behind the scenes. But this case? This case threatened to tear down that illusion once and for all. With Ryan Reynolds distancing himself, Taylor Swift's name caught in the crossfire, and Blake Lively preparing for an all-out courtroom war, it was clear this wasn't just another Hollywood feud. It was something much bigger. The Valentine's Day deadline was looming, and speculation was at an all-time high. Would this legal battle reveal industry secrets that Hollywood had spent years covering up? Expose powerful figures who never expected to be dragged into the spotlight? Change how celebrities handle legal disputes forever? Whatever happened next, one thing was certain: the next move could change everything. If Hollywood thought this case would fade away, they were wrong. As the countdown to Valentine's Day continued, insiders whispered that the biggest revelations were still ahead. Justin Baldoni believed he had the truth on his side. Blake Lively was prepared to fight tooth and nail. And Hollywood? It was holding its breath, waiting to see who would fall first. And with so many moving parts still in play, only one certainty remained. The final chapters of this story could arrive at any moment, turning everything we think we know upside down once again. With so many unanswered questions, this case isn't just about Blake Lively versus Justin Baldoni. It's about power, control, and the secrets Hollywood has kept hidden for years. One thing is for sure, when the next revelation drops, it won't just be headlines, it will be history. Make sure to subscribe for more updates as this story continues to develop. This is just the beginning, and you won't want to miss what happens next.